Um, yeah, hi, this is Alcan. Welcome back to my channel. I'm in Michelle's room, or formerly known as Michelle's room. I had to change the stand because of I don't know, something on the YouTube says I gotta rotate. So yes, here I am. Between her dress that she once wore and the overalls that she never got to wear. Well, you may know last week, before Michael Cohen's testimony, you had Stormy Daniels. And there was a lot of salacious nonsense that was put in from the witness. Some experts say that it wasn't even necessary and shouldn't have been put there in the first place. But it seems that Alan Bragg's, Michael Costello, whatever the fungal the guy's name is, and the judge, one merchant, were trying to do this to embarrass Trump. Where they succeeded or not, I don't know. But it turns out it also backfired in ways we didn't even expect it. Even I was personally affected. I wasn't even there, and I'm thanking God that I was not there when Stormy Daniel was testifying. I was eating dinner at a restaurant in Englewood, New Jersey. I happened to have the video from Inside Edition. They were talking about the Trump case. She was testifying, this stuff, what they were doing and what he was wearing, all that stuff. But then she said, quote, Trump told me that he and Melania weren't sleeping in the same room together. And oh my God, I felt like I lost my marbles, or the gasket blew inside me. I mean, you gotta remember the reason why I'm filming in here. This is like part of her legacy. My wife died 10 months ago. We stopped sleeping together in the same bed. So does that make me an adulteress? I hope not. But the reason why we weren't sleeping together is because she had lupus, she couldn't get comfortable in bed, and my snoring didn't help the situation either. And I wasn't diagnosed with sleep apnea until 2019. But even so, the lupus made it uncomfortable for me to be in the same bed with her. We had to sleep in separate beds, separate rooms for all these years. And I swear, made things pretty bad. It brought back bad memories of those times. I wasn't happy with what happened. I wish I had known that this was in uh, whatever the video, because if I had known, I would not been listening to it. If I had known that this testimony was there, I would not have been listening to it. I mean, I felt like a building fell on top of me. That's how bad I felt. I'm still affected by this to this day. I'm having PTS, post traumatic stress disorder, from work, not only from some assaults, but I killed the passenger with the train. She jumped or fell. We still don't know to this day. When Michelle was dying, all that feelings from that day I had the 12/9 all rushed back. It was not very pleasant, believe me. To see her seeing a person dying in front of you for the second time in your life like that, and you can't help them, is very, very disturbing, especially for me. And I thought the 8 months of therapy that I had been having to combat Michelle's loss went down the toilet with that one testimony from the Inside Edition video. And if I had known that was in there, I wouldn't have been listening to it. It's still affecting me. And right now, I'm beginning to wonder if I should file a complaint against the Manhattan DA's office and the judge for allowing the testimony to go through. Because I found out that that testimony wasn't necessary. There was other ways you could have done, establish whatever relationship they had between Trump and Stormy Daniels without her testimony, or limited testimony without causing undue harm. If they were trying to embarrass Trump, it didn't seem to work. It did do some damage to me, and I'm not very happy with it. You know, this is why I left New York. I cannot stand New York City anymore. I used to live there since the day I was born till I left in August of 2019. I've also been victimized by the court system in New York. You know, I lost custody of my son in New York City. My wife had a problem. She got a ticket for riding the bike on the sidewalk in the projects. She was wondering why she was being targeted. I said, well, because they were there looking for crime and all they found was you on the bike. I'm sorry. I had to go pay that ticket because they said, oh, go to court, explain it, it'll be fine. We tried to do that. I swear that it must have been the Queen's Virgin one march in there. We couldn't do jack shit. It was god awful. In my situation, other than that, I've been dragged into court by New York City Transit 4 times, almost 5. One for workman's comp. There was an error on the workman's comp. I was assaulted around 1997, and I had to fill out the paperwork for the first time, not the supervisor, because I was not on the work site when the assault took place. I thought I qualified workman comp because I'm on the way to work, I'm dressed in the uniform, and then found out, no, you don't. You don't get it. Not like that. But if you were a cop off duty and you got assaulted, they covered them right away. This is how the system works. So, I fixed the error, but yet still I get called down by transit to see a judge about the workman comp, and I see the lawyer in action, pretty good lawyer. Everything was fine. He like Alvin Bragg's, boom, 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 boom. He thought he had me good. But then I go up to the judge and say, first of all, I don't even know why I'm here, because the thing was, yes, I did file for workman comp, but I found out I didn't qualify for it, but I corrected the mistake. I just don't understand why I ended up coming here. I'm not, and the lawyer looking at it and said, you're not asking for a workman comp. I said, no, it was a mistake. I thought I fixed the paperwork, so I don't know why I'm here. So they had to dismiss the case. I'm sure when the lawyer went back to work, said, what the hell happened? And then I got dragged in court 3 more times for tail law violations. They were 1999, 2002, and 2005. We went on strike in 2005. And I went through hell in 2005, courtesy of my employer. As a result, I can't run for a union office, not just in TWU, but anywhere around the country, because they're not going to hire a scab. So that's the end of that. I lost an opportunity to do better with myself in the union. I can't work an outside job because it's not allowed. They screw with the overtime, they screw with me. And then in 2013, they try to drag us into court again with the tail law. Oh, you try to do job action, slow trains down. But they had people jumping in front of trains that year in record numbers. And the union saying, slow down, like get people working on the tracks. They're not saying it to do it deliberately, like like a rule book. Slow down. Yes, there is such a thing called rule book slowdown. You follow the rule book as you're supposed to, you can slow the system down pretty much. But that wasn't the point. Nobody was trying to do that. You don't want to put in the fencing to keep these people from jumping in front of the train or falling in front of the train. Of course, we haven't been this problem since 1999 when Kendall Woodville was pushed in front of the train. But people keep getting pushed in front of the train or jump in front of the train. And you saw what happened a few years ago when Michelle Go was pushed in front of a train and got killed. That forced the agency to finally start putting these protection barriers on some stations. So, unfortunately, it took Michelle Go's death to finally force the agency to do this. When we had Kendall Wedell getting pushed in front of a train in 1999, the dirtbags didn't want to do shit to put in fencing, and they got away with it because they're too busy fighting us in the union, and they got their way. But unfortunately, the public ended up getting screwed. That was. I mean, let me give you a prime example. I remember that people didn't like one of the Ghostbuster movies where they had the all-female cast. It didn't help that you put one of the actors in a New York City Transit uniform. We were not very popular back then. We were just like the movie did. I'm sorry to the director. God bless his soul. It didn't work out. But like I said, yes, they dragged me into court 4 times. They tried to drag me a 5th time with this Taylor law. And that was one of the reasons why I decided when they called me back to work again for them, I told them, oh, hell no. I ain't coming back. Sorry. I mean, the money is good, but you guys stink. And you know it. And look what's happened. Since I left in 2019, well, actually it's 2018. You had the pandemic. You had a motorman died in a fire. You had the George Floyd riots. The city was coming apart. In the pandemic, they let people ride for free. And they're in financial hot water right now. This is why they had the congestion pricing coming in and all that other stuff. So, this is why I'm not in New York anymore. And then not having a case that I had no part of coming out of the blue. I mean, falling on top of me like a ton of bricks. Like one of those buildings collapsing in New York City. Because this witness says, oh, that Trump and Melania are not in the same room together. There's a lot of couples that don't sleep together. That doesn't mean because somebody's having an affair. My gosh. It is ridiculous. And like I said, I might have to file a complaint against the DA's office and the judge for allowing this to happen. I don't agree with the way they handle the situation. Meanwhile, New York City is out of control, crime-wise. Oh, Alan Braggs had a news conference that says, oh, we did a major bust. Please. 2 people? You had a major bust. You have over 400 boxes of evidence. You gave these 2 people 3 counts. What about the other people that were involved in stealing and this stuff? You hadn't gone after them. So what was the point of this news conference? I don't like Alan Braggs. I can't stand the man. I don't want to be in the same borough with him. One of the reasons I don't go to New York City that often, can't stand this jackass. He doesn't want to go after fare beaters. He don't want to go after criminals. He wants to go after Trump because it's for his political benefit, not for New York resident benefits. City's falling apart, but he's not really doing anything. He said letting the criminals continue make the city falling apart. And then, of course, you had the immigrants adding to the mix. You know, when you had too many chefs, you end up ruining the soup. You need one chef, not 1,500, causing all kinds of problems. So, I got nothing personal against Stormy Daniels, but I didn't like that comment. I wish you had not said it. You could have said something else in its place, but I'm sure if the man DA wanted you to say that, then Al Braggs and his co whatever in that man district office are the biggest bunch of jackasses on the face of the earth. And I heard that one merchant, the judge, went off on a witness today. Woo! Well, I'm glad about one thing. I'm glad I was never in that courtroom when she made that testimony, because if I was a juror or somebody in that in the seating, and when she said that, I would have lost my marbles. They would have had to take me to the hospital because I would not have been able to stay there. And if I was a juror, it would have been worse, because then you would have a major problem. Thank goodness that nobody in the jury had a problem like that, because if they would have fell apart, it would have caused chaos in the courtroom. So, I guess that's it for today. And I'm sorry that I took up your time doing this live, but I had to get it off my chest because, quite frankly, I hate New York. I used to love that city, but now I hate it. I can't stand it. The only good thing I like about New York is that hobby shop in Midtown. Other than that, New York City could go kiss my ass. So I can't say so long for now, and don't forget your stop. And how the hell you shut this off? I forgot. Ooh, yeah. I thought I'm sorry.